Beyond the diagnosis, 5 powerful lessons from my son's autism journey. A journey I never expected. When my son Zayan was diagnosed with autism, my world was filled with a mix of fear and uncertainty. Like many parents, my initial focus was on the challenges, the therapies, the developmental delays, and the long road ahead. As a physician, I thought I understood the clinical side of autism. But nothing prepared me for the profound hands-on experience of raising a neurodivergent child. This journey led me to leave a decade-long career as a military physician, a profession that had shaped my identity. I grieved that loss, but in its place, I found a new and powerful purpose, becoming a full-time advocate and teacher for Zayan. Along the way, I discovered that this path, while difficult, was also one of unexpected growth, resilience, and perspective. It has taught me more about love, patience, and the human spirit than a decade in medicine ever could. Here are the 5 most powerful and surprising truths I've learned. 1. The problem isn't my son, it's an inflexible world. For a long time, the prevailing medical model of disability framed my thinking. Autism was a defect within Zayan that needed to be treated or cured. The goal is to help him adapt to the world. But my perspective shifted dramatically when I learned about the social model, which suggests that disability often arises from a society that isn't built to accommodate neurological differences. Think about it this way: a world where everyone uses sign language is possible. But because hearing people have greater numbers and more social power, spoken language is prioritized, which disables deaf people. Similarly, think about eye contact. For many autistic people, it is physically painful, yet it is a non-negotiable social requirement in many cultures. This expectation doesn't fix anything. It disables them by forcing them into a state of discomfort to conform. This reframing was a revelation. My goal was no longer to fix my son, but to change his environment, to advocate for a world that is more flexible, accepting, and accommodating of his needs. As long as autistic people exist in a culture and a political system that constantly creates and recreates our disabled status, we aren't fully free to unmask ourselves and live with authenticity and ease. His obsessions are a gateway, not a dead end. Zayan has always had intense special interests: numbers, Mario games, memorized lines from his favorite movies, Dr. Seuss books, and Jack Hartman's counting songs. Initially, I worried these obsessions would limit him, but I soon learned to see them as a gateway to his world. Instead of trying to redirect his focus, I started using his passions as powerful tools for motivation, learning, and connection. When he's fascinated with math, we incorporate counting ingredients while cooking, or measuring distances on our scooter rides. When he needed to learn about emotional regulation, I created social stories featuring his favorite superheroes like Spider-Man, showing him how to stay calm during a challenge. His love for patterns and colors has even blossomed into a talent for graphic design using Canva. This approach validates his world and builds on his innate strengths and joys. By embracing what he loves, we reduce his anxiety and foster a genuine love for learning, building his confidence from the inside out. Simple objects can be powerful anchors of safety. For a child with autism, transitions can be a major source of anxiety. Moving from one activity or environment to another can feel chaotic and overwhelming. One of the simplest yet most effective strategies we discovered was the use of transition objects. At first it seemed odd. I couldn't quite understand why Zayan needed to carry a small object every time we left the house or moved between activities. But as I learned more, I discovered something called a transition object, a familiar item that provides comfort and security during times of change. Whenever we leave the house now, Zayan holds a small, familiar object, a favorite toy car, a fidget spinner, or a squishy toy. This simple act provides him with a tangible sense of control and comfort. His sensory tool bag, filled with small, affordable items like these, has been a lifesaver in moments of overwhelm and a wonderful alternative to screen time. These objects are more than just distractions. They're companions through change. In a world that sometimes feels too fast for Zayan, they offer a piece of security that makes all the difference. This journey required me to evolve too. Raising a neurodivergent child is a journey of profound personal transformation. To truly support Zayan, I had to become different versions of myself, evolving into roles I never expected to play. The detective mom. When Zayan was nonverbal, I had to learn to decode his world without words. Every gesture, sound, and behavior was a clue, a piece of a puzzle I was determined to solve, to understand his needs and his joys. It's as if Zayan and I have created our own secret language, one based on trust, love, and a deep connection that goes beyond words. The scientist. Our home became a laboratory of sorts. I was constantly experimenting to see what worked best for Zayan. From creating visual schedules, to tweaking recipes for his favorite chicken nuggets, to sneak in extra nutrition by blending in vegetables. The lifelong learner. I immersed myself in research, listening to podcasts and reading every article I could find. This journey ignited a passion for understanding autism, turning me into an advocate, not just for my son, but for a world that better understands and embraces children like him. This path has required immense patience, creativity, and resilience. I learned that supporting my son's growth meant being willing to grow myself. True advocacy is built on collaboration, not just confrontation. I used to think being an advocate meant being loud, confrontational, and ready for a fight. But I quickly discovered that the most effective advocacy is often quiet, collaborative, and built on mutual respect. My most successful strategies have been rooted in partnership. I learned to build strong, open relationships with Zayan's teachers and therapists. I stay meticulously organized, keeping an IEP binder with all his documents and progress notes. In every meeting and email, I communicate our needs clearly and respectfully, always focusing on finding solutions together. Being informed and assertive is crucial, but I've found that it's far more powerful when paired with a collaborative spirit. I realize that being a savvy advocate means striking the right balance. A good advocate is informed, assertive, and respectful. Embracing a new perspective. This journey with Zayan has been about one thing above all: shifting my perspective. It has taught me to move from seeing deficits to celebrating strengths, from trying to change my child to working to change the world around him. Each of these lessons has reshaped my understanding of motherhood, love, and what it truly means to be human. This journey has taught me to ask not how my son can fit into the world, but how the world can make more room for my son. What small step can we each take to make our corner of the world more welcoming for every kind of mind?